So a couple of weeks ago, we got the teaser for the Bandai Narakiri World Convention showcase display thing going on in Japan to show off a number of very expensive, very cool premium Bandai items for Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and of course, Super Sentai. Now a couple of weeks ago, which I believe it was like 3 weeks ago at this point, when they first teased this event, they showed off a silhouette for the Memorial Edition GokaiSaber, and collectively everybody panicked. Like, everybody went, oh no, that's going to be incredibly expensive. And it is, because it's not just the GokaiSaber, it's the GokaiGun as well. Let's talk about it. So last night we got the official announcement for the Memorial Edition GokaiSaber and GokaiGun from Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger. So I guess we probably should have seen this coming. We've had a number of Memorial Edition items from Gokaiger, like the Mobirates and the Gokai Cellular. So I guess the most logical thing, besides doing like Bosco's version of the Mobirates or Bosco's Trumpet, which I guess could totally be like on the table now, was to do the Saber and the gun from the iconic series. And they look absolutely gorgeous, of course. So we've seen a couple Memorial Edition like swords and stuff like that for like Ryusoldier. We got the Ryusolken and the Gaisolken. So, you know, Sentai's not new to doing these kind of Memorial Edition things. I think actually it was mentioned by Taka, Kotetsu Toys on Twitter, that the GokaiSaber Memorial Edition is actually longer than the like Ryusolken version, so that's pretty cool. I never bought that one. I bought this one. So basically what we have here is one of two options here. So if you want to just get the Saber, you can just get the Saber, or if you want to get the gun, you have to get the combo set. There is no way to get the gun individually, at least as far as we can tell. Tokullectibles only has 2 things up, Premium Bandai only has 2 things up, so these are pretty much the only options that you have. So taking a look at the Memorial Edition GokaiSaber, of course it's pretty much exactly what you would expect it to be. It is an adult, like, collector, I guess probably sort of close to in scale version of the GokaiSaber from the show. Now if you're wondering, are you going to be able to do like the double bladed one and the triple bladed one that Joe had in that one episode? No, unless you want to spend like $1,000 to buy 5 of them and like melt them together. You could do that, I suppose, but there's no official way to do that. So comparing this to the original GokaiSaber toy from 2011, which that one I always thought had a decently sized like handle grip, but of course the sword like blade itself was incredibly small and incredibly dinky for, you know, being a children's toy, of course. Basically they advertise that these are like 170% bigger than the originals. So the original GokaiSaber was 16.7 inches and this Memorial Edition one is 28.7 inches. So, you know, a pretty considerable amount of difference there. Obviously it's just mainly in the blade that adds to that new difference there. But it looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the paint looks amazing. The hilt even looks more accurate than the original version, of course. It's like a little thinner and like not as... Because the original one, I would say it's kind of like a chubby like looking GokaiSaber. It's like they shrunk it down and like made it kind of fat to kind of like fit the electronics and stuff like that and the whole final wave gimmick and whatever else that they fit into that original toy. So I really do appreciate this being, you know, obviously show accurate in every regard, essentially. So you can see here that there's some nice LEDs in it. They even added some LEDs to like the actual blade itself, which they kind of showed off like a picture of like what that would look like with like no lights on, like in the dark. It kind of looks a little strange, like just like these red LEDs. I assume that the LEDs could probably change based off of what key you put into that, because I just what the original toy did. The original toy had that light and the Gokaiger logo that corresponded to whatever color Ranger key you put in there, because Ranger keys have 2 different key cuts on them. One tells the Mobirates what to do, and the other one tells the GokaiSaber and Gokai Galleon Buster what color of Ranger that key is. So I assume the same thing's going to be the case here, because it'd be very strange if it wasn't. And of course, speaking of Ranger keys, you're probably wondering what Ranger keys you get with this. Well, if you just buy the GokaiSaber, like just that one toy by itself, you're going to get the metallic Gokai Blue Ranger key. So, which that does make sense, because Gokai Blue, of course, is the one, him and Gokai Yellow are the ones most prominently known for using the GokaiSaber. But it's not that special of a key. Now, you know, usually whenever we get brand new key announcements, I'm bouncing off of the walls, freaking out. Now, usually that's because I'm also doing those videos usually like within minutes of them being announced, and I'm like usually almost close to tears. But here, it's been like more than 12 hours since this was announced, and I think these are really cool, of course, but also it hasn't hit me how much money I just spent on these. Or I haven't yet, because I put like an installment plan on this, because this price is insane. But we'll get to that in a minute. But basically with the Ranger Keys, metallic Gokaigers are not the most exciting thing in the world. Essentially, these are going to be Memorial Edition versions of Ranger Key Set DX, which was a key set that came out during Gokaiger. That was just the 5 Gokaigers with metallic paint and nice, like, glittery kind of, or not glittery, but like sparkly stickers on the key part. And basically, they kind of released in tandem with like the Gokai Galleon Buster to just kind of get a key set out there of the Gokaigers and just have them be a little bit different. Now, when it comes to this Gokai Blue key and also the keys we're going to talk about with the GokaiGun combo set, they do say that they're going to make unique sounds in the Memorial Edition Mobiles, which I don't really know exactly what sound they would use. A lot of people are kind of, or like I saw at least my buddy Greg speculate to me, and that makes a lot of sense, that these could use the Super Ranger sound that's in this like Memorial Edition Mobiles, which if you don't know the Super Ranger sound, it's a sound heard during the finale of Gokaiger, when they like very briefly transform into power-up modes of past Rangers. It's a sound that, you know, you hear the Gokaiger like Mobiles voice say Super Ranger, but we never have like a key that activates that, and that sound was obviously never in the original or Legend Mobiles, but it is in the Memorial Mobiles, so that was actually hacked out of that a couple of months ago. But we never knew what key could unlock that here. But since they say that these versions of the Gokaiger keys are going to have unique sounds in that Mobiles, that just kind of makes the most sense. That doesn't even make complete sense, but if there's anything to unlock that sound, unless you just make power-up mode Ranger keys, I guess this will work for that, and I hope that it does. But if you don't want to just get the sword, there is the combo set with the Memorial Edition GokaiGun. So this was actually not teased a couple of weeks ago. However, there was this one tweet that came out a couple of days ago that had this leaked list on it that showed off a bunch of upcoming or like soon to be coming premium Bandai exclusive expensive stuff, including the GokaiSaber and gun, the Memorial Edition Dawn Blaster, which that has not happened yet, and then a CSM Kabuto reboot or remake, and a re-release of the CSM Fane memory from Double, which I'm very excited about, and something for Ultraman. I think it was the Orb Caliber. But basically, that came out a couple of days ago, and everybody went, oh, a GokaiGun, huh? And then this confirmed it completely. So that list, and also some stores are already hinting about that Kabuto re-release, so that list is 100% happening. So we're going to get a Memorial Edition Dawn Blaster here pretty soon, so just stay tuned for that. I'm sure I'm going to make a video about it. But yes, the GokaiGun is also happening. So this is, like I said earlier, you can't, as far as we know, buy this one separately. You have to get this with the combo set with the Saber, which is a little odd, but like, sure. I mean, I feel like most people are probably going to want both of them anyway, so sure. Now, the original 2011 GokaiGun was, I thought, already pretty good in terms of like show accuracy size. The original one was like 12-ish inches, and this new one is 13.2, so it's a little bit bigger, but not like considerably bigger, because like I said, I already thought that that was a pretty good size for it when it first came out anyway. But of course, they have also improved this one. They've actually added a light to the barrel of the gun, which I think is a pretty nice touch. I hope that, just like with the Saber lights, I hope that corresponds to what key you've put in there for the final wave. I don't think, I mean, it might say that. I can't read the Japanese on the Premium Bandai website. I can't even access the Premium Bandai website because it's been region locked for months. But I think that would be cool if, because right now they kind of advertise both just having these red LEDs, and if it doesn't use the Ranger Key functionality for that to change it, I feel like that'd be a little odd. But maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. In the same, you know, whatever it does, it's still cool that they added these lights to the barrel of it. I think that's a nice touch to make it something a little bit different. Because obviously with the Saber, the main big draw is that you make it a full-sized prop replica, like, you know, you extend the blade. That's what you market that as. With the gun, there's really not too much else you could do to make it better than it already was, because it was already pretty solid. So I'm good with this. This is perfectly fine. Now, to get the other Memorial Edition metallic Gokaiger keys, you have to get the combo sets. The combo set comes with all 5 of them, so just like with the Saber with blue, the other ones are with this one. They're the same kind of thing. They're going to be basically redone versions of the Ranger Key Deluxe set versions, and they're going to have Memorial Edition auto flip keys. They're all going to have that unique sound on the Gokaiger Memorial Mobiles, which I'm assuming, like I said, is probably going to be Super Ranger. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the biggest things of these. I'm really hoping, then, like I said, I haven't been able to read everything with Premium Bandai and everything, but I think it'd be really cool if the Saber has that special, like, 2Kai final wave that we saw in the 2Kai Gokai crossover special, because basically when Flint used the 2Kai's Ranger Key in her GokaiSaber, it did that, so it actually made this special final wave sound, which I think would be really cool if they actually put, I mean, because, like, technically, the older toys had to have a key reader because it knew what color, it just, that one always would look at color instead of team, so maybe if they put some kind of special key reader in there that can look at both of them, if that's even possible. Obviously, it would make more sense for the weapons to just still focus on the color aspect of the Ranger Keys rather than the team aspect, but it would still be cool nonetheless. Now, personally, I do think that the keys are a little lacking. I think metallic Gokaigers are not the most exciting choices for these. It does make sense. I do get why they're doing it, but at the same time, I think it would have been, and a lot of people were kind of expecting it to be like, this is the place where they could have given us like the Gokai Christmas key, because he uses both of these, so like throw that in there. Or I was thinking, you know, maybe like some people mentioned like Go Ranger maybe, because like that's like a team that they used in Final Waves a lot. That could have worked. Or, you know, any other random Ranger key, I suppose. I guess it's a good thing in the terms of like if you're collecting unique Ranger keys and you're waiting for like brand new Ranger keys or re-release versions of older keys done up in the nice memorial style, you can pretty much skip this because it is just metallic Gokaigers. It also makes sense to include, you know, keys in general, because if you for some reason buy this and don't have Ranger keys, they give you something to do something with. So like it totally makes sense where they're coming from with this. I just think it would have been kind of nice to have, you know, use this opportunity to give us some more teams in the memorial style, because it kind of seems like that's what Bandai is doing. But at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine. Obviously, since it has some new keys of some kind, I obviously had to purchase it. And that brings us to the question of how much does this cost? So I'm going to be leaving 2 links in the description below to Tokullectibles, which is like the only store that I know of that has this. But it's pricey. So the GokaiSaber by itself is $300 on Tokullectibles right now. So that is just with the saber. So you only get the saber and the Gokai Blue Ranger key for that. So make sure you keep that in mind. And if you want to get the combo set that comes with all 5 keys, the saber and the gun, that's also up on Tokullectibles for $360. So basically $300 for the saber, $60 for the gun. And also remember that that includes shipping and middleman fees and everything, because the actual premium Bandai price for the saber, actually for the whole combo set, is like close to 200-ish. And you got to think, you know, shipping on that saber is going to be absurd, so that's obviously going to add a lot of cost to this, and then Tokullectibles, middleman fees and stuff like that. So like, is it really pricey? Yeah, I can't deny that, but at the same time, I love Tokullectibles. I've always loved that store. I'm fine with paying that price for it, because if I don't pay this price, I know I'm going to be paying a lot more in the future. Also, you can do the pay in 4 on Tokullectibles, or you can also do, using that Shopify, like, you know, payment plan, you can also do a 6-month installment or a 12-month installment plan. The 6-month and 12-month installment plans have interest on them, but that's what I did, because I cannot afford this up front right now, and I cannot afford this every 2 weeks from now. So I did the 6-month installment plan, which made it like I think it's like $63 a month or something like that until like the end of April. So that's not great either, but whatever. And it makes the overall cost like $20 more in the long run because of that interest on it. So you have some options there if you can't drop $360 on this right away, which I don't blame you. And both of these are going to be releasing in May of 2023. So that has extended the Ranger Key toy line once again to May of 2023. Right now it was going to end in January 2023. Ranger Key stuff is happening again because the Akiba Ranger set just released in Japan like a couple of days ago, that key set and gear set. So cannot wait for me to get mine. I should probably be getting that probably in the next couple weeks or so, and I'm definitely going to be doing a video about that. And like, we have all the 6 Ranger stuff and Dawn Brothers stuff in January, and now we have this in May, which I guess will be a nice birthday present for me, and also I guess a nice college graduation present for me, because that's when these things will be coming out. But yeah, crazy. So like, you know, when I saw the saber, I knew we were doomed. I didn't think that they would pack the gun. I figured that once the saber was a thing, the gun would eventually be a thing. I did not expect it to be a thing at the same time. So, is the spear next? Because, oh god, what could that possibly cost? How could you do that? Same thing with like a Galleon Buster. Like, legitimately, Bandai, just please don't. Just don't. I love this stuff. It's really cool, but like, where am I even gonna put a Memorial Edition GokaiSaber? Or, well, yeah, but also, especially if you do a spear, that's that. But whatever, until we get to that day, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the Memorial Edition GokaiSaber and GokaiGun? Are you going to be picking them up? Are you just going to get the saber? Are you just going to get the gun? Or, well, you can't. Are you going to get the combo set or just the saber? You know, what other weapons would you like to see them do? What keys would you have included with this? Are you going to skip this because it just has like metallic Gokaiger keys and is incredibly expensive? Anything about it down in the comments below, let me know. And of course, check out a ton of Gokaiger Ranger Key videos on the channel. And until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or at LightningPR, and I'll see you all next time.